you do it quick enough that the same stream will maintain. They just kind of treat it like there was an interference or an interruption in the buffer, if you will. And so we are back. Yeah,
showing as it ended though.
What's that?
Showing that it ended.
It'll come back. I think YouTube maintains the livelihood in the stream, but no, seriously. And I was watching another video online, and they're scanning through the room, and at a public location, 3 different girls had on the same black and white mini checker pants with the black Doc Martens, and so Doc Martens are definitely coming back hard in 2021 with the young cats. And they're all wearing the Gibsons and the 8i.
And there you go. Some of the blood red, the ox blood.
No, they're just sporting black ones right now. I don't know if they're quite ready to move into the realm of multicolored Doc Martens.
I don't know. So I've looked at Doc Martens in the last 10 years, and they look just like shit. The soles don't look right. They just say airwear on the bottom. The labeling is different. It just, to me, even the soles don't feel as high a quality.
I was Christmas shopping for a teenager a few years back, and I discovered that Doc Marten was like making tennis shoes now too. So I think what happened is, I think after the 90s and the mid 2000s, when they kind of fell off the mainstream, because, you know, when you first started wearing them, and, you know, the only place in Columbus you could get them was OSU campus. You had to go to Avalon Shoe Salon, or, you know, the places like that. And then they kind of blew up and went big, and then got to the point where you can get them at TJ Maxx and JCPenney and pretty much anywhere.
Except for Payless, thank God.
No. Payless
Airwalks went to Payless.
I was going to say, Payless is where everything
goes to die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the last stop on the shoe.
Shoe brands go to die.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the Airwalk thing because we did a good 20 minutes on it before, but they're definitely the best example of if you want to kill a brand by not following your demographic. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely. So any big to do over the weekend? Did you all just hang out? Did you have mortars blowing off of your house? Because I was picking up a bunch of that shit out of my yard.
I did have mortars blowing up over top my house. Well, we're in Florida, and so the mortars started early. I mean, people start getting drunk down here, and they're like, okay, it's kind of dark enough. And so, like, it's not even dark yet. I mean, you can still walk down the street and not run anything. It's darkish. They were going from like 6 p.m. until like 2:45 a.m. It was all night long. And you and I were trying to do an OG5 podcast. That's right, OG5 members. Head over to Patreon, and we have a video and a audible format of the OG5 podcast. And just a little hint, a little secret to you non-Patreon subscribers. If you head over to the Digital 410 YouTube channel, we actually made the New Year's Eve video public. And so you want to get a little glimpse about the OG5 podcast, you can go watch the video over on YouTube and give you an idea of why you should go sign up for Patreon, other than the fact that you want to support the channel. I'm trying to share the new video. That's why I'm looking down at my phone. But yeah, you can go over there and check it out and figure out, hey, this is worth $1 a month. That's all we ask, $1 a month. And
this is where the libation started before the show.
Yeah, we played a lot of music on that show. I haven't got my pee-pee slapped yet by
from YouTube.
From YouTube, but I'm sure I will. You got those Amazon hubs out there, right?
Yes.
But as we discovered 2 episodes ago, that you were one of these crazies who allow your random Amazon driver in your garage door.
I figure they've been pretty much vetted. There's not a whole lot of high-end stuff they could jack out of my garage.
No, it's hard to qualify this question with you because of where you live and the fact that your house was robbed. But I saw my first Amazon hub today in my neighborhood. Not my neighborhood, but within a 5-mile radius, let's say. And
you're talking about 2 million square foot building?
No, I'm talking about a 8-foot by 5-foot bright orange box on the side of a 7-Eleven that says Amazon Hub.
Yours actually said Hub. Ours actually has funny names. I think the one over there by Vaughn's is called Gouda.
Well, no, it says Amazon Hub, and then up in the right-hand corner it says, hi, my name has some weird, stupid name on it. But if you live in the neighborhood that's not gated, where you have porch pirates, and that's my whole thing, is I think the Amazon Hub is an indicator of how bad your community is.
I think they call them lockers out here, which is essentially what it is.
And so you go there, and scan the code on your phone and the door pops open and you can get the stuff that, well, you can't leave on your porch because of damn porch pirates. And so I definitely think that's an indicator, if you will, that your neighborhood is not safe as it once was.
Yeah, and I think porch pirates know no bounds. I think they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous.
Would that
ubiquitous?
I wonder if that'll become like a you know how when you used to buy a house you would do it by school zone? Oh, I got to see, my kids are going to school zone, this and that and everything else.
Not in Las Vegas. It's all the same school district.
Well, down here we have school choice. You can go to whatever school you want. But what I'm getting to is, let's see. I'm looking at this house. Let's see how many Amazon hubs are within a 3-mile radius. Ooh, 15. Maybe we shouldn't buy that property because clearly they have a theft problem.
So you
the closest one's 30 miles away. We're buying here.
So do you pull that up before or after you do the perv check?
I think before, because I think the likelihood of your package being stolen versus the likelihood of your child being diddled by a perv is far more greater to have your package stolen. So I think you would look for the Amazon hubs first, and then maybe after, seeing how many Starbucks and pizza delivery and Chinese delivery joints are within the delivery radius of that home, then maybe you would check on the location of the closest pervs to your house. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Oh, Marty just responded. I guess he's Marty Farty now.
Okay.
I failed to respond. It is part of New York. I can get a long gun with a background check. Handguns. I have to live at my address for at least 2 years and then follow the local police registration rules. Not to with the long guns. So doesn't mean you can get an AR.
Yeah, you're buying a 22 long rifle to go squirrel hunting.
Or are you buying an AR?
Nah, you ain't getting it.
See more.
Friends of mine in Jersey, you actually have to buy a firearm purchasing not the same one that the gun dealers get, but just to purchase a firearm, you have to get a license and a state background check before you go to the gun store to get the federal background check. So you actually have to purchase a license just to go to the store and buy a shotgun or a hunting rifle.
I saw somewhere that a representative, I don't know if it's congresswoman or a senator, is proposing a 50% tax on ammunition.
It's the same old tricks. Remember when gas was $5 a gallon?
So you're slamming the poor and you're slamming the middle class, just like if they require tax stamps. If I had to get a tax stamp on every high capacity magazine in my rifle and stuff, I'd be more than what I put into my fucking guns.
Well, like I said, it was kind of like, remember when we were at the peak of the environmental carbon footprint? That's why when Obama was in office, he was getting hit and slammed by the green movement so bad that gas was $5 a gallon. I'll tell you right now, if that shit happens again, someone's losing their Tundra.
Could be in a Subaru.
Now I'll be back in a taco. I need a truck because I have to haul 6-foot ladders and wire. That's the whole reason I went to a truck to begin with, is after the work van took a shit, I needed the ability to transport loads of crap to job sites.
Yep, I use a roof rack. I mean, I would like a truck. I just don't want to pay truck money. Truck money is expensive these days. Yeah,
trucks aren't, they're no more a bed seat and a rubber floor and an AM FM radio anymore. Now they're pure luxury.
I don't want to living room.
I don't want to slam this person too bad because I still follow him on TikTok and I wish him the best. But I had something. I wanted to start the year off with a second guest other than Martin.
Martin says yes, ARs are fine because it is a long gun.
Interesting. That's the same in New York. Long guns, blah blah blah. Handguns.
Yeah, they probably got a 10 Mountain Rack.
Handguns are impossible in New York City. But anyhow, I was wanting to have a guest on. This guy's on TikTok. I'm not going to say his name. I'll probably give his identity away just by talking about him. But he's an openly gay conservative guy, and so
I figured.
And so he and actually I follow quite a handful of those people. What do you mean those people? But we talked before about the lesbian chick who was a diehard Bernie supporter until she started doing her independent research about all the stuff saying about Trump. Then she realized, hey, something don't add up, and then she gets all the hate. And the lesbian chick that we played a few weeks back, it's funny to see the hate they get from the left. Oh, conservatives don't like you guys because you're gay. Well, clearly that's not. So anyhow.
No, I don't want the government in the bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
want it in my gun safe,
And so this particular gentleman and a handful of other quote-unquote influencers are having a rally here in Lee County on a certain day. and they're selling tickets for it. And I said, hey, you want to come on my podcast? And he private messaged me, what's the name? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, how long? He said, well, usually, because of Zoom, our interviews only last 40 minutes, unless you want to stick around longer. Okay, cool. When do you do it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I usually charge because I'm getting so many requests to come on podcasts.
He clearly thinks he's dealing with somebody who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I didn't reply. Like I said.
Either.
Okay, cool. Now,
good luck, buddy.
I'm not saying our podcast is all that great. All I'm saying is you're having an event that you're selling tickets for in the town in which I do a live stream and I have a podcast. Been doing so for 3 years. I also worked in radio in this town for 6.5 years. I have booked or have had guests booked via proxy through the radio station and other sources. People far more famous than this guy is. Not that he's even famous. I think he has like 100,000 followers, which is nothing to sneeze at. I'm not besmirching the guy at all. But once again, he wants to charge to come on my podcast. I'm trying to have you on my podcast so that perhaps some of my audiences would enjoy your views and want to pay the $5, $10, I don't even know how much he's charging for tickets, and come buy your tickets and support you. And in return, maybe some of your audience would check out my podcast, and some of them might like the mediocre entertainment which we provide here and download a few more episodes to see if maybe they want to stick around. It's a win-win for both of us. Back to the radio thing. The show that I produced has everybody on from Jonathan Davis, Chester Bennington before he died, in the studio, Marlon Wayans, Sinbad, Tom Green, Chris Jericho, freaking Eddie Munster.
Didn't Fitzdog get on there?
I'm sure he's been down there. So many people, I can't remember half of them. Those are just, the reason those all came to my head is I saw the pictures on my Facebook. All those guys were down, and ladies were down there pushing an event, selling a book, doing a charity thing, whatever. They didn't charge to come on the radio station because they were trying to get that show's audience to come buy their tickets or donate to their charity or whatever the event was. And these are people with a bigger audience, a bigger name than this particular person. And I was just like, wow, you want to charge? I didn't even ask. Like I said, I didn't even respond. I'm like, don't even want to. For content's sake, I should ask him how much. But at that point, it's just like, no, I'm good. I'm not interested.
So let me get this right. The reason we're making this short story long is so you could use the word besmirch.
Yes, that's my vocabulary word of the day. Besmirched.
Fantastic. Now,
I can throw behoove you in
like
there.
That,
it would behoove him and behoove us to have him on.
Behoove.
I think behoove's underused.
Yeah, it is. It was overused there for a while when I was in school.
Really?
From the teachers. But yeah, no.
A word I learned from
I have no desire to deal with. It's just somebody who's out there money grabbing and looking for a sucker.
Well, I will say, ironically, he posted a TikTok today complaining that someone said the only reason he does his videos is to sell merch, but that's neither here nor there. A word I picked up from the Van Wilder movie? Inordinate.
An inordinate amount of whatever.
That's when
like a stupid amount.
The blonde chick that Van Wilder was trying to hook up with, she was dating, because Van Wilder, let's be honest, it was a remake of Animal House, but anyhow, just like PCU was, just like Old School was, but anyhow, Van Wilder going after the chick, I forget her name, she ended up with a bad boob job.
So is it time for another remake of Animal House?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
But anyhow, when her boyfriend was giving her attitude about the fact that she had been spending an inordinate amount of time with Van Wilder, I was like, that's a good word. Do you know who that movie was based off of? Bert Kreischer.
Really?
He is Van Wilder.
You're talking to the machine, shirtless Bert Kreischer?
He was
Kreischer, who's actually a underground. I was listening to a podcast, actually, with one of the biggest podcasters out there, and they're talking about Bert Kreischer and how he is actually a stud as an athlete. He's got unnatural athletic ability.
Well, I think he's the host of that new big show on TBS with all the panelists you never heard of. But no, the fact that, and the whole storyline behind Van Wilder is he's been in college for 8 years, even though he did get a doctorate because he wants to be there and party and don't want to grow up. That whole thing is based loosely off of Bert Kreischer in college.
It sounds like Varsity Blue too.
Yeah.
Kind of like me on a snowboard. You see a fat guy, I'd surprise you. But
How'd you like that video I sent you of the chick snowboarding in ski boots?
So I thought two things. First thing I thought is, a skier is borrowing their buddy's equipment,
but don't want to rent
two,
boots.
I was like, yeah, that's just gonna suck.
Yeah, because you need ankle movement.
You need lateral flexibility, and that's just crazy. I remember in the '90s, man, just seeing all these gapers trying to navigate steps in ski boots and struggling, and us in our soft boots with snowboards. Even though mine was pretty stiff, you just fly down, just run. I actually do plan on getting on the hill this year, and I think we're going to take the pup up to Utah with us to do it. So he had the doggy had his first semi-long road trip. We had him in the car for about 2.5 hours on Saturday.
Nice.
He did great. Whimpered just half a second, farted a bunch. Otherwise, he's great. Them short snout dogs in gas. I don't get it.
So, over the holiday season, I think most of y'all might have picked up the new Call of Duty. That was a broken piece of shit.
Yeah, it's so broken. You went back to Battlefield, didn't you?
Yes, and one thing we learned in 2020 is if you're going to put out a first-person shooter, you damn well have a PUBG, Fortnite-style jump-in. And Battlefield now has one called Firestorm. So instead of a ring of gas, it's got a ring of fire that rolls in.
Now, is that a free download?
Yep, it's all in there. You jump in, you have no weapons. Cool thing is, because of all the hullabaloo over Call of Duty, for those of you who don't know, Call of Duty is a money-hungry whore.
Yes, it is. It's
Every time they put out an
retarded.
update, they put out guns that are super powerful, and then they claim they're broken and they're working on a patch, but they'll happily sell you the gun pack for $20. And so all these kids are grabbing $20 from their mom, and Activision's making a quick $100,000 to $1 million before they roll out the patch. And recently on a podcast, and programmer / ex-Activision employee came out and said, and it has since been confirmed through patent paperwork, Activision has just filed patent on a piece of algorithm, if you will, that will take users who have a history of spending money on battle packs, buying the guns and the skins and all that, and especially if they have a high kill to death. Oh, I'm sorry. High score to death ratio. We'll get to that in a minute. If they have a high score to death ratio, or if you're playing the old one, kill to death ratio, and they'll put them on servers with kids or adults with a lower score to death ratio who have a history of not buying anything.
So wait, let me understand. The people who spent money and have been just buying these guns and can slay left and right, they're now being put on there with the kids who would never be picked for the basketball team.
And not saying that these guns are making them better. These are just people who are good at the game, but they also buy the guns because they look cool and they have a little bit extra features. But they take them and put them on the game. And for those of you who have never played a first-person shooter, particularly Call of Duty, unless you're playing hardcore mode, which is all I play, but if you're playing regular core, whenever you get killed, they show that, whenever you get eliminated, they show
is that what it's called now? Is eliminated?
On Cold War, I'll get to that in a minute. Whenever you get eliminated, they show an elimination camera, i.e. they show you the screen of the person who eliminated you, and so you can see the gun they're using. And at the end of the match, they have the player of the game, and it'll show the last elimination. And so, what does this mean? Well, if you're taking 2 or 3 people who have a history of spending an inordinate amount of money on skins and guns with a higher elimination to death ratio, and you intentionally put them on a server with people who aren't as good, who have a history of spending no money, and then they see the elimination camera with the cool gun, they're hoping that encourages people to go out and spend $20 on battle packs. It's a money grab. So we went from a time and place where Halo would have, what they call that? Their matchmaking was score-based or ability-based.
Yes.
So to make the game fun, if you were ranked 5, they would try to put you on a server with rank 5 to 10. They wouldn't put you on a rank with rank 30 to 50s. So that the game is fun, so that one guy's not running around eliminating everybody and making them feel stupid. Activision's like, fuck that. Let's take the highest ranked people with the best elimination to death ratio, put them on the server with the people who aren't as good, and try to encourage those people to spend money on guns, thinking the guns are going to improve their gameplay.
So, as you know, I've been more of a Battlefield fan.
Well, that's why I explained all that. When you play the new Battlefield Ring of Fire, the first thing that comes up is a big disclaimer. We here at Battlefield think that all players should have this level playing field and enjoy the game. That's why you cannot bring any loadouts that you previously have put together and must use all guns found on the map. So it's like a big slap to the face of Activision saying, hey, we're aware you dickheads are doing this.
Because even on our game, some of the guns you find on the floor in the cases are some weird Gucci bullshit.
Well, but if you find them, that means everybody else can find them. But in Warzone, you can buy your loadout packs and then get your amped up guns.
You know when the new Battlefield game's going to actually come out?
No, I'm not sure, but I do think it's funny. Everybody's complaining about the DMR, which means designated marksman rifle. Look, I get it. It's stupid that somebody can kill you from across the map with a MAC-10 that shoots 9mm rounds out of a 4-inch barrel. But the DMR is an M14 that shoots a 30-06 round. I'm sorry, but a 30-06 is going to kill you quicker than a 223 round. So that's not really too much of an inconsistency as far as the game goes. I will say on the Ring of Fire on the Battlefield, it is kind of lame that all of a sudden now helicopters existed in 1944, but I digress.
So it is World War. Now, is that part of, I got to reinstall Battlefield because I had to put
it's just go to multiplayer and it says Firestorm.
So when I reinstall it and go to multiplayer, I'll go to Firestorm.
And you're in an airplane, you jump in, you mark where you want to land, you have nothing.
What kind of airplane you in?
Like
is it period correct?
Yeah, it looks like a German paratrooper plane. And instead of one, they actually have like 5 or 6 of them, which is cool because when you parachute out, you'll kind of fly past another one. And you can't do the shit where you cut your cord and then redeploy, cut your cord, redeploy. And it's,
you mean the limitless fucking parachute?
Yeah, it's once you pull it, you're in an old school 1939 olive drab green silk round parachute, and you're in for the ride if you deploy it some bitch too early.
You know, I know it's all just video games, but at least it's a little closer to being reality.
Yeah.
So the new Battlefield game is coming out the holiday season of 2021. Also known as Christmas shopping period, which probably means November. Apparently, it'll be one of 6 games EA will be released on machines between the beginning of April of 21 and March of 22. So it's taken them a while.
Well, I was heavily into the Call of Duty Modern Warfare re-release. And yes,
I was too. I hadn't played Call of Duty in years.
Yes, because the other ones were garbage, and they basically reskinned some of the old ones. They brought some maps back. The guns are great.
Then they broke it.
Call of Duty, World at War. Not World at War. That was the last great game. Cold War rolled out, and we got it for Christmas. And okay, cool. $40 for the low one. Play multiplayer. You got Nuketown, reskin. Okay, there's a 12-year-old map we're charging full freight for. You got Raid, been upgraded. There's another 12-year-old map. And then they have like 2 or 3 other maps in the rotation for Battle Royale. I'm sorry, not Battle Royale, but regular multiplayer. Then they have 1 map for zombies, which is kind of cool. I didn't know for a while. It took me a while to discover Dirty Bomb, which is very Battle Royale, Battlefield-esque. But you have like 38 vehicles on there. Mm-hmm. And the only map that supports vehicles is the Dirty Bomb, which you can only use the motorcycles. So I don't know why we got boats and planes and all this shit that you can't use yet. So they basically charge you full freight for a half a game with rolled out skins, rolled out maps from 12 years ago, and then guns that you can use in Warzone that are both, ironically, you know, the 2 biggest guns that are quote-unquote broken right now that can kill everybody are both interesting.
Okay, shotguns?
No, they're both can only be acquired through the purchasing of Cold War. Now, that's interesting. How could that possibly be? So that if you only have Modern Warfare and Warzone, and you want to level the playing field and get the same guns everybody's destroying your ass with, you got to go out and spend $40 on another game that you probably won't play.
Well, it sounds like Battlefield 6 is what it's going to be called, and it's going to be more modern. I really would like to see a 2143.
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's skip back to the future, but they're saying it could be a World War III type setting, which is the way we're going. Mm-hmm. So it'll be maybe Red Dawn style, but we'll see.
Nugget and I were trying to play Cold War, and we're trying to play with you. Game keeps freezing up. Your guys' games will load. Mine would just freeze out and kick out. That happened multiple times. The other night we were playing with my buddy James. For some reason I couldn't hear Nugget. Her headset would not show up on mine. I wasn't blocked. She didn't have me blocked. We switched over to Modern Warfare. That worked fine. Switched back over to Cold War. James could hear her. She couldn't hear me. I couldn't heir her. And then
which
just kept
game
freezing
do you
up.
think the physics may be more realistic or harder to deal with?
I think Cold War is easier. When the first time I played Cold War, I played in the mall. I was like first place, like 23 eliminations.
But typically, I'm talking between the two platforms, Battlefield and COD. I always thought Battlefield was harder to hit.
Battlefield is harder because it's a wider map, but play Battlefield for like a week and then go back and play Call of Duty, and you'll dominate Call of Duty because it's just so much easier. Now, back to the nicer, cleaner Call of Duty, which is Warzone, that clearly has been in production throughout 2020 and 2019. They have removed the word kill from the game. You play Modern Warfare, and kill streaks are still there. You got kill to death ratio. Now, on Cold War, it's eliminations and score streaks. So now you don't kill people, you eliminate them, and your score gets to a certain number, and then you get your score streaks, i.e. your UAVs, your sentry guns, your grenades, this, that, and everything. Here's the funny part. When you play the campaign mode, which one thing Call of Duty's always done a good job at, per se, is the campaign mode. If you don't mind the worn out template of, okay, this map you gotta not be seen, this map you gotta snipe. So that worn out 15-year-old template's still there. They don't really force the sniping one too much, which is good. Nothing got worse than having to crawl 500 yards in sniping prone. But you do have to do the unforeseen. Well, maybe you have to do a snipe map. I haven't completed the campaign mode. But real quick, go ahead.
The games I always thought was incredibly difficult was the Ghost Recons.
Yes, those were too damn hard. That's why they never blew up. So when you create your character on campaign mode, they ask you to put in a first name and last name, which is kind of cool. So on the splash screens, they'll say your first name, then they'll say Bell, which is the generic code name, and then they redact it by taking a Sharpie and marking that all out. And so when you're creating your character, even though as far as I've seen, they never show them, with the exception of your hands, you create a skin tone, which is cool. Then you create a gender. Guess what your gender options are in Call of Duty? Cold War. It takes place in 1984.
Him, her, or they?
No. Male, female, or non-binary.
No, that is your they, is your non-binary.
Even though they don't show the character, so it really wouldn't matter what sex them, him, her, or they are. But is
non-binary even permitted in the military?
Well, this isn't military. This is,
I know.
Did they have females on the front line of World War II? Other than the nursing?
Let's go back to Battlefields. Yeah.
And so, not only do we have a game that's entire purpose is to kill people, and that we remove the phrase kill from, replaced with eliminate, which you can say, well, that's a code word that they use a lot there. Well, shut the fuck up. And now
the next mass shooter teenager is going to just eliminate kids?
Yeah, pretty much. And
Sorry, that was a little rough. Where's your fucking Tom McDonald thing?
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Bebop's finally deciding she wants back in the room, but I told her if she leaves, she can't.
Hi, my name is Tom McDonald. Welcome to the show. If you are easily offended, then you probably
he did it
should
again.
go.
Cause trouble. Hurt someone's
What I
feelings.
do.
Yet he didn't want to do it. Yes, troublesome people are often people in trouble. They may be mentally ill. Find out how you can help. Write Better Mental Health, Box 3000, New York 1, New York.
And so despite the fact that 2 copies of Call of Duty were purchased in this house, yesterday we said fuck it and started playing Battlefield again, and Nugget was enjoying it. I was having a great time. So today I haven't turned Call of Duty on. We just did Battlefield. Are you ready to do your news, Gordon?
Yeah, let's do the news. Yo.
Oops.
Joining us now from the Digital 410 West News Desk in Las Vegas, Nevada, Gordon Abernathy.
Gordon, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. Check it out. course, Don's walked away without his headphones, so he may not be able to comment. I'll give him just a second to deal with old Bailey. My dog is far cuter. Anyway, so a remorseful man.
Don't you love when I just leave the show in your hands?
Oh, don't worry.
A remorseful man
returns statue's stolen sword after not 1, not 2, not 10, not 20, but 40 years. Westfield, Massachusetts.
Where does one store a stolen statue for 40 years?
Well, it's the sword from a statue. It's not even the whole statue. So a veteran returned to a sword he stole from a statue of a Revolutionary War general 40 some odd years ago.
Might as well keep it now. Nobody cares. They're going to stare that statue down anyhow.
Telling the head of the Massachusetts Town Historical Commission had he regretted taking it. So for 40 years, he's had this sitting on his head, this regret, this dread.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to take the floor. We all get older and regret some of the life decisions we made when we're younger, maybe when we're in our 20s. There was a drunken night back in May 1973. Had to do the quick math there. And upon a dare, nay, a double dog dare. Now, everybody knows you cannot back down from a double dog dare. A friend of mine called off the truck Tony, double dog dared me to get nude, running through town, yelling with a condom on my head, yelling, look at me, I'm a squid, and then steal a sword off of a certain statue. And now at my finer age, the condom was a bad idea. Couldn't breathe. But I digress. I want to present to you this sword. Plink.
However, your math is wrong. That was 1980.
You said 40. Yeah, I was born in 78. I'm 42. Yep, 1980. But anyhow.
1980. So, Cindy P. Gaylord, there's not a name you hear very often,
Gaylord
is the chair
Fokker
of Westfield's Historical Commission. Said a man contacted the city hall
Westfield
saying that he had
Historical.
stolen a sword from the town statue of General William Shepard in the year 1980. This would be the Springfield, according to the Springfield Republican. Gaylord agreed to give the man anonymity.
Anonymity?
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Returned a bronze sword. So it's not steel. It's not stone. It's actually bronze. And arranged for him and his wife to drop it off at her home.
How many pounds does a bronze sword weigh?
That's a good question. According to Gaylord, he had a great deal of shame and remorse.
And they heard him coming when the forklift was backing up. Beep, beep, beep.
He must have spent a lot of time in his alcohol over this one. He is a veteran and told me the fact that he did this to another soldier troubled him. He wants the story printed to remind people that something you do in your youth can haunt you for the rest of your life. The man who Gaylord described as a great big bear of a guy told her, he must ride a Harley, told her that he had worked at a bar in town while he was enrolled as a student in Westfield State.
I think he just explained what happened. Go ahead.
After the night of drinking,
with the condom, running through town naked, yelling, look at me, I'm a squid.
He and a group of friends went to steal the sword, which he said he wrenched loose with just his own strength.
Well, that alone says he should have it.
It's the sword and the stone.
Yep.
Excalibur.
He was worthy.
He was worthy. When they realized that they had done what they have done the next morning. So this is like the movie Hangover now, except that stretched out 40 years. They were not sure how to return the sword without facing consequences. The stolen sword was replaced with the help of a local sculptor and paid for by an anonymous donor. According to the newspaper, the returned sword is likely to be preserved by a local museum. So a little bit about Shepard, the statue of the guy who sword was absconded. He was born in the 1730s and fought as a militiaman and soldier in multiple wars, including the Revolutionary War. So this was a bronze statue that was erected of him in 1919. It's been around for a while. But I want to move on.
What did they put in his hand in all these years?
I think they replaced it with another sword. So now he's got two. He could dual wield. LaGrange, Indiana. LaGrange, Indiana is...
Wasn't that a ZZ Top song?
I don't know, but evidently LaGrange, Indiana has something against hippies.
Who doesn't?
However,
fucking hippies.
After 50 years, hippies are now welcome.
They revoked their no hippie laws. They took down their signs. No hippies, and Chinamen through the back.
Yeah,
took down the signs.
Celestials.
Damn it, Woo! Go out the back door.
Hang die.
LaGrange,
Indiana has repealed a 1971 law that was intended to block huge gatherings, like the 1969 Woodstock Music Festival that was held in New York State.
What if it was an Up with the People concert? Weren't they a Christian band?
According to County Commissioner Dennis Kratz, I called it our anti-hippie ordinance. The ordinance regulated large gatherings, so not a whole lot of hacky-sacking going on there, that lasted more than 12 hours and involved more than 500 people. So there's no Lollapalooza either, apparently.
Nope.
The law recently dropped as a part of an effort to repeal ordinances that have no practical use but have been kept on the books for as long as 100 years. And we know a lot of towns have this shit.
Shit, honey, get my bus ticket to LaGrange, Indiana. We're going to party. What's the population of LaGrange, Indiana?
Especially certain traffic restrictions, according to County Attorney Kurt Bachman.
Overdrive?
And this lasted about 3 years to figure out what to get rid of. There were during that process lots of us that made us go, what?
The population of LaGrange, Indiana in 2010 was 2,625 people. And they're worried about hippies?
Yeah, and it's located on the northern Indiana border, right along with... It's the Michigan people. They're trying to keep Michigan out. Have you met those hippies from Michigan?
Well, some steep prices for hotel rooms in LaGrange at $111 a night.
Boys in Blue have been getting a bad rap this year. Would you agree?
Sure. Haven't heard that phrase since the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song, but go ahead.
Well, there you go. I'm dusting off the 90s a little more. Police officer decides to pay for a shoplifting suspect's holiday dinner. Good on him. This is coming out of Somerset, Massachusetts, where a Massachusetts police officer declined to charge two women, suspects is plural, by the way, two women that it was accused of trying to steal groceries for the children, I'm sorry.
Children's.
And instead bought them a Christmas dinner. Somerset
ham or turkey.
Officer Matt Lima responded to a report of shoplifting on December the 20th at a place called Stop and Shop.
Ham or turkey?
Don't know yet.
What did you have for Christmas? Oh, you had gyros or some shit, didn't you?
I had turkey, motherfucker.
I had ham. Turkey's Thanksgiving. Come on. I had a spiraled ham.
You know, I am in a multicultural family, so I have to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, hence the gyros.
Actually, I had a gyro on Sunday.
I had a gyro from the German guy last week.
And it is the last shitty meal I'm going to eat. As Don is bailing, and I can't communicate with him because the dog is evidently taking more importance. Anyway, so as I was saying, I had a gyro on Sunday. And it was the last garbage we ate. And it tasted, I tell you what, bread just don't taste good. So, that being said, update.
How many pounds you down?
We stepped on the scale after the season of shame, the 2 weeks of having some crappy food. And I'm happy to report I did not gain any weight, nor did I lose any weight.
Yeah,
so I held steady.
I'm at a
now
net zero.
I'm back on it.
Yeah, I'm at a net zero gain loss for the entire year.
I will take that. I was expecting to gain 5 pounds, and I didn't.
Yep.
Anyway, so Somerset, back to the story at hand. Somerset officer Matt Lima responded to the report of shoplifting at that Stop and Shop where two women with two young children were accused of putting groceries into bags at the self-checkout kiosk without scanning them. One for me.
The two utes.
One for you. Two for me. Remember that old Looney Tunes where they were counting out like that? It was like the gangsters. One for you.
Where'd you hide the dough, rabbit? Yeah, see?
Yeah, see? The women said they had fallen on hard times. Well, yeah, a lot of people have.
Because they were waiting on that $600 that they fucking held out for so goddamn long.
They want the $2K. Oh, by the way, did you hear that Biden basically said, hey, if you vote for the Democrat senators, we will get you your $2,000?
Mighty white up.
That sounds like that's illegal. Anyway, the women said that they've fallen on hard times, blah, blah, blah. Lima said this reminded him of his own children and used his money to buy $250 in grocery gift cards for these folks. So you know what? Some good things come out of, the gift of giving definitely shines through. And I wanted to end this news.
Before you end the newscast with that. Oh, you already ended it?
Yeah.
This segment of the news is brought to you by our friends at Computers. At Computers has been providing IT solutions for all Southwest Florida since 2004. So give them a call if you need any help. Give them a call at 239-283-1120. They can help you out with two-form authentication, online backups, antivirus protection, server rollouts. That's right. If you're still hanging on to server 2008 or 2012, Microsoft's starting to discontinue that nonsense, so you need to upgrade post-haste. Give them a call at 239-283-1120.
Post-haste!
Even if you live outside of the area, they can help you as long as you have internet connectivity to your device. Give them a call at 239-283-1120 or go to act-capecoral.com. And as always, please head over to d-410.com. Click on that big, beautiful orange Patreon link. Sign up. It's $1 a month. You get exclusive access to the OG5 podcast. Got a new camera coming, ladies and gentlemen. So the YouTube channel videos are going to increase. I'm going to start doing some more exclusive video content for the Patreon. We really got to get on the ball with protecting and showing love to our Patreon folks. If you guys want a sticker for the What's Your Head podcast, you want an OG5 sticker, whether it's the Digital 410 sticker, all my logos are missing from the video today, send us an email. I will send them to you for free. And a little hint, if I'm going to pay 35 cents a sticker, you may get more than one. Email us info@d-410.com. That is info@d-410.com.
If you leave whiskey in a barrel for several years, the whiskey will get better. But the same is not true for people.
That's going to wrap it up for the first episode of 2021. If you guys want to find out what we did on New Year's Eve, even if you're not OG5 members, head over to youtube.com, look up for the Digital 410 channel, and you can hear all the silliness that Gordon and I did on New Year's Eve because, we did a live podcast. We streamed it directly to YouTube. Usually our Patreon content is exclusive to OG5 members, but we figured for New Year's Eve, why not share it with the love with everybody? So head over to youtube.com, look for Digital 410. Please like, subscribe, and while you're there, look for Analog 410. Like, subscribe to that. And as always, head over to d-410.com. You can click on the social link to find all the links to our social media pages and all that good stuff. Gordon, you have any parting words for our audience tonight?
Let's try to be positive this year, guys. I know we got our asses kicked in 2020. Let's move forward with 2021. I know it's still a shit show, but let's treat each other like human beings.
And remember, if you never get out of your comfort zone, you'll never get out of bed. So get up, challenge yourself, and make yourself a better human being and maybe a pillar to your society. For Gordon, Martin Marzika, and myself, thank you guys so much, and we will talk to you next week.
This has been a Digital 410 production.